Hey guys, Sean Blue here, top of the wood. I am here to share some of my experiences with cops and what I thought of them and stuff. I met nice cops before. I met douchebag cops before, and I've been doing with cops different levels of my life. Whether it's whether when we had a when my brother called the police on my dad when he was acting up, whether like I called the police, I think one time on him. And yeah, I did, and my mom did, and because like when they say that cops like hassle like black people and stuff like that, and I'm not denying that. I'm sure that happens still to this day, even with the Black Lives Matter movement. This weekend that's coming up, I'm sure there's going to be black people that are going to be getting hassled by cops that don't deserve it, along with every other race though too. Here's one of my. I'm just gonna really share one story. This was like about 5 years back. I remember walking from my back when I still lived with my parents. I was walking from my parents' house to Carl's Jr. Just to get like dinner, and it's like so like I walked like 10 or 12 minutes. I walked to Carl's Jr. Standing in line. I think I saw like a police car kind of like outside of Carl's Jr. or driving around near Carl's Jr. and whatever, it's just some cop driving around, probably patrolling. So I walked inside. Then I noticed when I was standing in line, not that long after a police officer walked in, and I noticed that he was coming over to me. And I was thinking, what's this about? And he wanted to ask me some questions. And right there on the spot. It's not like I had to go outside or anything like that. I was standing in line still about because I looked like this one perpetrator that was on the run or whatever from something happened. I don't know what he did. I don't know if it was domestic violence or whatever, but some guy was running around. And back then I had long brown hair, not very long, but kind of long. And I'm tall and I'm thin and I have brown hair, brown eyes, and I'm a white guy. And he showed, and I was just talking to him for a little bit, and he showed me the picture of a guy, and the guy did look like me. He was tall, he was thin, he was white, he had hair like me. The only difference, though, he was like at least 10 years older than me. That's the only big difference. And I was like, that guy's like 40, and like I was comment bad, but like that guy's like 40. He's a lot older than me, and at least he was at least 10 years older than me, and so and he's like, yeah, and like we both agreed that yeah, he kind of looked like me, but it wasn't me and stuff. And then he went on his way, and I just kept on staying in line. And there was just a few people eating inside. Then of course the people that just working there. Then I did my order. Then I just grabbed my stuff and left. He wanted to see my ID too. That's another thing. He wanted to see my ID, which I don't think I had to show him, and I couldn't show him because I walked over. I didn't have my ID with me. First, I don't know why it wasn't in my wallet, but it wasn't. I just had cash with me, and so just enough to pay for my food. And but like that's the thing though. That's the other big difference. Not because I was white. Like, oh, why wasn't I handcuffed and thrown to the ground and blah 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 blah? Not because I was white. It's because how I talked to the cop. I didn't get all nervous. I didn't get disrespectful. Like you see with like these like black guys that get shot and stuff like that. And yeah, that's messed up. But like they're like running from the cops, or they're like I remember watching Bill Maher like years ago. There was this one black guy on the show, and this guy was much older than me. You think he would know better, but I guess he didn't. He was sharing a story when he was hassled by the cops, but once you hear the story, just listen. The black guy and his family were driving like in the deep south, but they were driving in the deep south, and they were pulled over. I guess they were speeding. Like, okay, you're speeding, you're gonna get pulled over a lot of times. No different if I was. And so they got pulled over, and I guess like the cop apparently told him, but you're supposed to like turn off the car when they pull you over. I remember me and my friend got pulled over, another white kid. We got pulled over. I was 19, he was 17. We got pulled over, and the cop was yelling at us because we didn't turn off our car or whatever. And but either way, back to the black guy. The black guy pulled over his car, and it was like the deep south, so it's humid and stuff, so it's very hot. So he has the air condition blasting. He was with his family. He was just sitting there, and he noticed like the cop like pulled him over like maybe like 2 or 3 minutes ago. What the heck's taking him? And he looked out his rear view mirror, and he saw like the cop like yelling at him, but he couldn't hear him. Why the air conditioning was blasting. And he had a gun out, and like he's like whoa whoa, and like then like the cop I guess like kind of like put the gun away or he came closer, and like he's like I told you to get out of the car, and like he's like oh well I had the air condition blasting because it's like humid and stuff, and like yeah, and I understand that, but if I have to turn off the car, if my white friend had to turn off the car, you as like a 40 something year old black guy or a 40 something year old man should know better how to react to cops like I did. I'm not being disrespectful to the cops and stuff like that, even sometimes when they're disrespectful to me with other stick cases. Then I kind of give it back to them a little bit. But yeah, so like that's the difference between like it's not like oh I'm a white guy so I wasn't thrown to the ground or shot dead or blah blah blah. No, it's because I know how to talk to someone civilized. I wasn't gonna be disrespectful like how like a teenager is sometimes disrespectful to their parents or to a teacher. A grown man and a grown woman should know how to talk to people, especially like a police officer, because that's because you need to know how to function in society. Is there a lot of crooked piece of crap cops out there? Absolutely. Not denying that. But also at the same time, there's a lot of good cops, and you just need to know how to talk to one another.